Hey, it's Robert Lee Molton here from TopFuelGuitar.com, and I have a quick question for you. Are you having a hard time finding the best guitar tone for you and aren't quite sure how to go about getting it? Well, it's not too uncommon because a lot of guitar players do have this issue. So today we're going to be talking about some guitar tone secrets. To get great guitar tones, sometimes you have to go all the way back to the fundamentals to actually realize critical factors that you may have overlooked. And factors that could be game-changing differences. Getting great guitar tone is exactly like that. So when you begin to realize just how many things actually affect the tone of an electric guitar, it opens up so many areas of experimentation. Getting great guitar tone doesn't have to be difficult to achieve. It's all within the way you're building it and how trained your ear is to successfully test and analyze multiple variations of methods and techniques and modifications and those combinations. Are you building your guitar tone with distortion boxes and multiple effects? Or are you building your guitar tone by plugging a great guitar into a great amp into a great speaker cabinet? Great guitar tone starts with a great sounding guitar plugged into a great sounding amp through a great sounding speaker cabinet. If you can simply get these three things right, you're gold. And why is that? Because this is your core sound. You need to develop your core sound before you can successfully add seasoning to the mix. There's nothing wrong with adding seasoning to the mix, but you have to be sure you're using the right amounts for the right reasons to get the right guitar tone. The key is to determine which guitar is going to be your main workhorse, and then you'll want to know what kind of wood combination you want. Now this can really make a big difference in creating guitar tone, but yet it's one of the most overlooked factors of actually achieving great guitar tone. So if you played a guitar with a solid maple body and a solid maple neck, you'd notice a huge difference in that sound compared to the exact same guitar made from a mahogany body with an ebony fretboard. The maple guitar will be much brighter sounding and the mahogany will be much darker sounding. When you get familiar with the different woods and their unique tonal quality, you'll then be able to make the best educated decision for your main great sounding guitar, and this is very important. Next, you'll need to decide on what type of amp best fits the guitar tone that you're after. So achieving great guitar tone becomes easier when you understand the core elements. When choosing an amplifier, there's one major question that comes to mind from the very start. Do you want tube, solid state, or a hybrid? This is a very subjective topic because it's not one size fits all situation. Certain styles of music, it may call for more of a solid state type of tone, like thrash metal or industrial. The direct opposite is true if you're a traditional blues player. You'd most definitely want a creamy tube amp sound. And of course, there's a whole spectrum of great guitar tone between those two extremes. You need to decide which fits your style best. With that in mind, you'll decide what type of amp and then what brand of amp to best deliver the guitar tone. You'll also need to know whether you want a 50-watt sound or a 100-watt sound. The difference can be quite surprising to say the least. Now, you'll get different characteristics out of a 50-watt amp that is cranked up over a 100-watt amp that is barely turned up. And again, this is a matter of personal preference, but both ways are commonly used. Now it is true that your speaker cabinet makes a huge difference in creating great guitar tone. Whether you use a 112 cabinet, a 212 cabinet, or the most common 412 cabinet, you'll want to be sure that you've loaded it with the best speakers to complement your personal guitar tone. Now if you want extra low end in your sound, you may want a speaker that is designed to deliver extended low end range. Or you may want a certain mid-range frequency that cuts through rather than the extended low range. These things make all the difference in choosing the right speaker to create your right sound. You'll need to decide on the actual speaker box as well. Some speaker cabinets are slightly taller or wider and also made from different types of wood. And yes, the wood of the speaker cabinet actually makes a difference in the sound. Now, if you have two identical speaker cabinets and one is made from particle board and one is made from quality solid wood, you are going to notice a difference in the guitar tone. Now, I'll go out on a limb here and say try to avoid the particle board if possible. My personal preference is that I feel the solid wood is the best sound. Now, removing the wheels from your guitar cabinet can immediately enhance your guitar tone. When you compare that to the full bottom of the cabinet making contact, you can begin to see why it makes such a difference in creating guitar tone. It resonates better. The same thing is true when you stack cabinets. You shouldn't have wheels attached to either top or bottom cabinet. Once you try this, you'll actually hear great guitar tone coming from the cabinet like never before, and you will not look back. The majority of bands I see and work with throughout the club circuits have cabinets with wheels attached directly to them and are wheeled into position on the stage each and every night the same way. They don't even realize their loss of tone. Now, there's no problem with using wheels. In fact, I recommend that you have a method of rolling your cabinets in and out of places. However, there are several ways of doing it without having the wheels attached to the cabinet itself. You can simply make little carts that fit perfectly underneath the cabinet just for moving purposes, similar to the bottom of a flight case. Now, this will assure great guitar tone from your cabinets on stage every night. This works great because you can wheel the cabinet anywhere you want and simply set the cabinet on its designated area on the stage. When the show is over, set the cabinet back onto the cart and wheel it back into the loading truck. You'll find tons of additional uses for those roll carts after the cabinets are placed. It's well worth building a few, and it doesn't take much to build them. As you can see, there are 3 core elements that play a huge part in your guitar tone. Now that you know exactly what they are, you're in a position to create the ultimate guitar tone for you and have a great starting point to create this great guitar tone with a focused plan. Now, if you're interested in discovering more insider guitar tone secrets, I urge you to go to guitartonesecrets.com, and there you'll find over 20 years of compiled insider information to help you get your best guitar tone. So I want to thank you for watching, and from topfuelguitar.com, it's Robert Lee Molton. Talk to you soon.